Hello and welcome to an all-new Marvelcast Explosion Network's hub of all things Marvel, a place to talk about everything MCU and beyond, from Avengers Defenders to Cecilia Reyes and Erica Sondheim. My name's Ashley Hobley, your podcast host without fear, and joining me today is the astonishing Dylan Blight.
I recognise one of those names this time.
Did you?
Cecilia Reyes? Whatever,
Yeah.
whatever he said. That's the Reyes is the tiger thing?
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, what is it? I can't remember now. Cheetah?
Those are doctors, medical doctors in the MCU. Random doctor who was trying to help. Yes, today's episode, we're talking about the latest episode of Daredevil Born Again. So let's get into it. Please be aware we'll be freely discussing anything and everything about pop things at any other episode. So if you haven't watched to come back later, with that said, let's discuss Daredevil Born Again, Season 2, Episode 6, Requiem. Directed by Angela Barnes, written by Devon, Kliger, and Jesse Wigutow. Dylan, what did you think of this week's episode of Daredevil Born Again?
Yeah, really good. I've been really enjoying it every week, but I do feel like this week in particular, I was just like, man, this season shits all over the first one, and just such a, like, the consistency of the episodes is just really stands out compared to that first season, I think. So, yeah, I think the only thing I thought, I was like, the Daredevil and Jessica Jones fight was a little bit meh. I thought, like, their team up, a little bit of I didn't think it was super well put together, but it was cool to see them back together, obviously. But everything to do with Fisk and then that last, like, 10 minutes, the way that was edited, I thought was really, really, really well done. Their dialogue and everything, really well done. Even the stuff with your favorite character, Daniel, was finally seeing that sort of go somewhere was good. So yeah, overall, really, really good episode.
Yeah, I enjoyed it as well. I have some questions about certain things and whether they're setting up stuff. I feel like my issues with this episode will depend on whether they pay them off further down the line.
Well, we know where they're going because old mate keeps leaking them on his Instagram, posting them filming season 3. So
yeah, I think the introduction of Jessica Jones is, like, interesting. Is that leading to something, or is this just an excuse to get Jessica Jones in this episode? Is she going to be here for the rest of the season?
I think she'll be here for the rest. I'm going to say right now, she's here for the rest of the season, and she's main cast next season.
Okay, that's a bold claim.
Is it?
I think so. Unless it's already been confirmed, in which it's not a bold claim.
I don't think anything's technically been confirmed. All I know is they announced. Here's the other thing I'll say about this. I saw IGN post their review photo for this earlier this morning or this evening as of recording, and their Instagram post was like blah blah blah. It had the picture of Jessica Jones Daredevil. I didn't think it was anything spoilerific because we already knew they had announced that
she's in the latest trailer.
Yeah, like, so I didn't think that was too shocking, and like to the point that even when you go to click on Disney Plus and click play an episode, she's the background thumbnail for the episode. So I was like, what are we doing? What are we talking about here? So
people are upset about that.
Yeah, weirdly, they were like, IGN spoiling it. I'm like, I don't think so, because once it's part of the marketing, it's fair game.
Part of this marketing is not a spoiler.
No, if you want to go,
as much as you want it to be a spoiler, it's not a spoiler.
Yeah, if you want to consider,
it can't be considered a spoiler. Yeah,
I think we've talked about this on What Do You Want to Watch before, shout outs. But if you want to consider stuff that's in a trailer and or marketing and or put out by the maker of TV show, movie, video game, what have you, and consider that a spoiler, then you just sort of need to get off the internet at that point, I think, to be honest. But yeah, old mate, I can't remember his name, the actor's name, but Luke Cage actor, has been posting things that are spoilers on his Instagram. You haven't seen any of this?
No. Mike Coulter? Yeah.
Mike Coulter, thank you. He has been posting things that have since been deleted. Mm-hmm. I'm sure someone at Marvel said, what are you doing? Because they're filming season 3 at the moment. And without, I won't say some other things that he's posted that definitely give away big spoiler points, but she's in it. Like, she's in the photos. So she's definitely...
I think there are certain things in this episode that imply that he is still around the universe.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you want to tackle that now, because I have...
I was going to go through the episode, but we might as well skip ahead to the major part. The AV, coming from the number one movie TV resource, Wikipedia, the AVTF seizes weapons at Red Hook, and Mr. Charles sends a crew after Jessica Jones, now living with her daughter Danielle. Jones tells Murdoch that Charles once tried to recruit them for a superpower team, but she refused. Together, they attack the AVTF weapon stash, though Jones struggles with her powers. So, Jessica Jones has a daughter named Danielle, who looks to be at least black, half black.
Yeah. So
and in the comics, Jessica Jones and Luke Cage get together and have a kid named Danielle.
Yeah. So it's definitely their kid, is what I'm set on. And the implication in the conversation is that when CIA, what's his name again? You just said it, I've already forgot. Mr. Charles, Matthew Lillard's character, came and visited them. Now, he works for Valentina, and she came and tried to recruit them, presumably for maybe something Secret Avengers sort of Thunderbolts.
A new Thunderbolts.
Yeah, that sort of scenario. She said no, but the implication is, because she says a line like, not everybody, because she's like, I told them to fuck off, which was good to hear.
Yeah.
But not everyone did or whatever. And then Matt
There's the look, and Matt says, oh.
Because the implication is Luke Cage went and joined,
yeah, and left Jessica Jones to raise that kid alone.
Yes, that seems to be the implication.
I don't know.
So I think that's going to be, considering how Matthew Lillard has played out this season and the direction we're sort of going, I think his character is going to continue on into next season with a bit more Valentina, and that would bring Luke Cage back into the full fold here as we go. I think all of that is pretty.
Right now, I would not be surprised. Post credits,
Luke Cage
episode finale, we said Luke Cage.
Yeah, look, he's in season 3. That's again
pretty much guaranteed.
He doesn't understand what to not post on Instagram. So he's 110% in season 3.
He didn't read his NDA.
He did not read his NDA. Now, Jessica Jones, obviously, as I said, she's going to be I presume she'll be in the next 2 episodes, because they made a big deal about announcing her as part of the season. We've been sort of waiting all season for her to show up. I think there's no point in announcing her ahead of time if you're only going to have her basically as a cameo character. She also doesn't get listed in the end credit scene as where it pops up at the end. It's like also starring, like sort of the minor or like, bonus. Like she's listed as like proper cast, which to me reads as
opening credits. I don't know. I wasn't really paying it.
I wasn't paying enough attention, but she wasn't in the opening credits. But she wasn't in the little, when it's like the small text.
Post credits.
Like she wasn't in there, so she must have been before that, which means they treated her as a higher cast member than just a cameo bonus, like extra appearance thing. Now all of that I think is self-explanatory. Everything to do with Luke Cage and what's going on there, and that sort of stuff. My biggest question is what's happening with her powers, because she says about. What's her kid's name? You've got it in front of you. Danielle. How she's been having issues with power since
she had a baby.
Now, I don't know I don't know anything about her daughter in the comics and what her potential power is or whatever, but I don't know. It just seems to be something going on there. And to be honest, it sounds mutiny.
I mean, people's bodies change post having a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I think
you're telling me her kid doesn't have powers in the comic?
No, her kid. I don't believe her kid has powers. And the kid's like 4 or 5. In the comics, she was like newborn when I was reading, at least. So, I think she has the kid before Civil War, around that time. So, it's been a while. Civil War, Secret Invasion. Yeah, I think that's where I found out she had a kid, because there was concerns that maybe she was a Skrull at the time or something. So anyway.
Yeah, it says as a Secret Invasion, Skrull posing, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
There we go. My question is, why did Mr. Charles go after her?
Yeah, that I don't know.
See, it doesn't really make sense. So I guess hopefully that's why I wanted it explained over the next 3 episodes.
It doesn't not make sense so far. It's just we don't have the information.
Yeah, it currently doesn't make sense.
Currently doesn't.
If it gets explained in the next 2 episodes, I'll say, good job. But if it's like this random event that happened to get Jessica Jones into the show, that doesn't make, in that case, why wouldn't you have the AVTF just raid her house because she's a vigilante? So, all right. Anything else you want to mention about Jessica Jones in this episode?
No, I'm still trying to find out if her daughter's
superpowered. I don't think she's grown enough to be superpowered. You know,
What is
I know
this?
aging is very weird in the comics, but I can grow up very quickly.
What? Hold on, I'm just getting confused now. There's an article here from. I'm doing it live. There's an article here from Nerdist that says Danielle or Danny was born in the Pulse 16, published in 2006. Danielle's name was a tribute to Danny Rand, the Iron Fist, Luke Cage's best friend. With the birth of their daughter, Jessica, more or less semi-retired from adventuring to raise her daughter. Danielle played a role in the aftermath of the 2009 event series Secret Invasion. Yes, the comic that Marvel Studios later adapted into the rather infamous Disney Plus series. A scroll version of Edwin Jarvis. The Avengers butler kidnapped her, but Danny was ultimately rescued. Thus far, that's Danny's biggest Marvel storyline. Hey, she's just a kid. In the comics, she's still a small child, stuck in the same eternal toddler mode as the Fantastic Four's Franklin Richard for decades. However, they write, we have been introduced to her future adult self, first in 2015's Ultron Forever miniseries, and we learn that Danielle inherited her mother's super strength and her father's invulnerable skin. She becomes the new Captain America. This future Daniel Cage hails from the alternate future of Earth 15061, roughly 30 years in the future of Earth 616. In her future, most of Earth's heroes die in a battle with Thanos, including her parents. Natasha Romanoff, the Black Widow, is one of the only survivors and begins a new Avengers initiative. She rescues and raises Danielle and trains her how to fight. When she reaches adulthood with the power she inherited, and that's training, she becomes the future Captain America.
So
yes. So
20-something years down the line,
there is
potential.
Because
there's a lot of future Captain Americas.
There's a lot of future Captain Americas. But there you go. That's something.
There you go. You sage it that need to.
Yeah, I feel better. I'm still, I guess if they're doing, my thing is, if they're doing a Jessica Jones if they're doing like a postpartum pregnancy, but hold on, the daughter's like 5. I don't know, but that's not really postpartum at that point. I don't know. I'm just intrigued by the story.
Why the powers are doing
why the powers thing. Because if the baby was a newborn,
just creates dramatic tension, Dylan.
Yeah, no, but you have to lead somewhere with it.
If you're super strong all the time, then it's kind of boring.
I'm just super focused on it because, as you should know, Jessica Jones was my favorite of the Netflix series. So I am attached to the direction of this character. The first season of Jessica Jones, still the best of the Netflix Marvel series, IMO. You never watched it, did you?
No. Well, if she's going to be a main character in season 3, we'll revisit it before the next season comes out.
You should, because it is very good. Also, David Tennant. I
guess we'd have to do that and Luke Cage, yes.
How did you not watch something with David Tennant as a villain? Like, what are you?
Bad Tennant fan.
Now, hold on. Let's just re-clarify some things before you continue on. So you caught up on Daredevil prior to the Daredevil Born Again. We've covered that ahead of the first season. Have you watched... no, you watched The Defenders.
Yes, I watched The Defenders.
You watched The Terrible Defenders, but you haven't watched anything else.
No. That's
intriguing. You have some good and bad. So you have some really good and some really bad that you've missed out on. With the really good being the sensational first season of Jessica Jones and subsequent 2 okay seasons. And you have the really good first season of Luke Cage. And you have the terrible Iron Fist season. Where the only good thing about it was Jessica... Is it Jessica... no.
Jessica
Henwick. Yeah, the only good thing about it. There you go. Go on, talk about that rest of the episode. I'm over my Jessica Jones now.
So we kick off the episode with Fisk mourning Vanessa. She is definitely dead.
Yeah. You know what? For a split second.
There was a second.
There was a second where they was hanging. The camera was on her fucking forehead with Fisk in the background. I'm like, if she opens these eyes, I'm going to flip my lid.
I would have been so happy, even though it's so dumb.
I would have been like, you cannot do 2 fake deaths. That's just terrible.
Yes. But Fisk handles this situation well and kills the doctor. To be fair, he was getting too emotional and talking way too much.
Yeah, that's it. I'm pretty sure doctor training would tell you not to do what he did, by the way.
Yes. He was just,
I feel like, yeah.
Really had it coming, is what we're saying.
Was very good, though, because as soon as he went to hug him, I'm like, I think he's going to kill him.
Well.
This isn't going to end well. And then when he started hugging him, I'm like, this is weird. And then when he started squeezing him, I'm like, here we go.
Squished him.
Fisk is back, baby. Sorry, the Kingpin is back. Fisk is dead.
And Buck came in to come and
Clean up the mess.
get ready to bury another body.
Yep.
All right. Cashman.
Before I forget my one of my favorite lines this episode, because I don't think Wikipedia will eat it.
Yeah.
In the scene after this, when he's talking to what's-my-call's like second in charge person, and says something about succession, and that other guy goes, "We have spotted dick you have spotted dick as a dessert in your country," or whatever. It's like a little backhanded slap to him. Like, that's a good joke. That's a good bit.
Buck orders Daniel to feed BB false information, though she anticipates it before he finds her copy of the Red Hook testimonies. I think that's not a great description of the storyline. But yeah, it's Daniel's birthday. BB wants to help him celebrate. It's not weird that she knows it's his birthday. She put it in her calendar. But he's going to go see his mum for his birthday. And she tags along. Buck believes that BB is the leak and Daniel is clouded by his feelings for her, and tells him to feed her a fake story, which he does. He tells her that the Kingpin is only going to run one term. He's not going to run for re-election.
Yep.
A crazy thing to say when, how long do you think we are actually into the term of Wilson Fisk?
I don't know, because
It'd be like a year maybe?
Yeah.
Which, isn't that long. He'd still got another 2-something years to serve. So at least, I don't know what the rotation is in.
Sometimes the way the show's timelines work doesn't make much sense. Like the fact you have Fisk mourning Vanessa, we have what must be, even if it's fast tracked, at least a week until the funeral, if it's fast tracked. And then you cut back to Matt, and he's like, if it's like at least a week later, he's still seemingly sitting around in the same bloody clothes that he was wearing the
Bullseye
night.
is still asleep. Hasn't woken up for a whole week.
Yeah. So some of that never adds up. Yeah.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? But yeah, so they go visit Daniel's house. His mum's a little bit weird.
She sells
whatever she was talking about. Yeah, it was very nice him. Bibi has the message prepared to send with Fisk is going to he's only got to run one term after his wife's death. But after looking through Daniel's room, looking at all these things, she decides better of it. Decides she's going to stick to her, going to do what she's asked and keep it to herself.
Yeah, I think she has over time she's grown somewhat attached to him of his goofiness and character, I guess, that she's begun to enjoy. And I took it, at least, when she's looking through his childhood bedroom and just looking at images and his things and photograph of him and his father. I think I took it as like her just sort of being like, no, this is like a real person who maybe is misguided with his trust in Fisk and everything like that. But
and they're about to leave. You think they're about to kiss, but Daniel pulls away and says, "Oh, I found this. I saw this SD card that got slipped in your pocket last episode or 2 episodes ago. What the fuck is it about?"
This is where she fucks up. Instead of doing it, she should just stab straight away. Porn. What's he gonna do? You know what I mean? Like you just catch someone, so it's porn.
You double down. He's gonna watch it.
It's porn. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I didn't. It's my personal porn collection. I take it everywhere with me.
But smarter Daniel to pick. I mean, he did realize that someone was slipping him her stuff, but I guess to swipe it. I assumed he swiped it when it was dropped.
He took it out of her jacket
at that time, and she's just never realized that it was there, I guess, because Karen does mention that her source never got the confession from the Northern Star captain or first mate or whatever. So yeah, and then the conversation is cut short by Buck calling him. Yeah, so that happened.
We don't find out what the Buck conversation is, although weirdly, some weird sort of editing is it actually cuts from Buck calling him to then Buck calling the police dude in the scene straight after this, and I was like, but shouldn't he be on the phone?
He's making a lot of calls, Admittedly, the thing they cut off is that there is a massive protest happening in front of City Hall, I think, that is starting to get more violent, and that kind of stuff. So, all right. Glenn suffers a psychotic break and begins imitating Muse's behavior. Yeah, it's totally normal for your psychiatrist to go through your dead patients' things and steal their rings. And then she proceeds to start choking Buck after, well, he offers. He says,
Well,
I was choked.
she's having a mental breakdown, basically. PTSD, sort of anxiety triggering attack. And Buck, for whatever reason, chooses to let her release some of this by choking him. I thought they were going to make it sexual for a second,
Yes.
but they didn't. So
It would have made more sense if they
yeah,
had it come sexual.
but no, he was
like,
just legit.
Buck is into that kind of thing. All right. Dex recovers and Paige nearly shoots him, but Murdoch stops her, leading to her anger over his refusal to kill. Obviously, we kicked this off earlier in the episode where Karen just gets to a shouting match with Matt about, letting him live. We obviously have Ms. Reyes and the niece come and look after Bullseye's wounds. But yeah, I mean, obviously this scene, again, Bullseye very much like, I don't care if I live or die. I've played my role in everything. It's kind of math. It's the way things are.
I think he wants to die is the thing.
Which is interesting. But yeah, Matt won't let her pull a trigger, which is interesting. What do you think of this sequence?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to sort of argue against her logic.
Her logic? It's logic versus morals.
Mm.
Sure, is it morally okay to kill somebody for the greater good, or are we meant to be more involved in that?
Yeah, well, the thing is like she is right in that it's a rock moves an immovable object between Daredevil and Kingpin. So when she says,
I mean, that's
this,
what the larger argument is about.
Yeah. So yeah, yes, there's the moral element of it, which Matt's. But the thing is, Matt isn't really making a good case either as to pitch his moral stance other than just it's correct and that's right and it's the right thing to do. And she's saying, I agree, other than this one guy.
Yeah. Well, these two guys, yeah. Let's just kill them both.
I don't know. I feel like if in the earlier scene, if he had been like, yeah, I'm going to kill Kingpin, she wouldn't have tried to kill Bullseye because I feel like a lot of that pressure would have been released and she would have probably not been okay with it, but I don't think she'd tried to kill him if Matt had just been like, yes, I'm going to go kill Kingpin.
Rebels led by Angela's allies gather at City Hall where Paige projects their Red Hook testimonies. Really intense sequence. During the protest, lead AVTF officer Connor Powell kills Saunders, causing chaos, and manages to capture Paige. If you don't remember, Saunders was the mole, I guess, that in the AVTF. And he just kills him in cold blood.
How did Buck confirm it? That's what I want to know.
He has ways, I guess, But yeah, brutal, and that's, again, weirdly a sequence that plays kind of true to recent events where these protests and then the police do something to instigate things to make it worse. This one to one of their own to throw it off rather than an innocent
film
victim.
That came out last year called One Battle After Another, in which the cops call in a guy to come throw a Molotov cocktail from the side of the protesters.
Okay. Yeah, like that.
You don't remember that?
No, I don't remember that scene.
Well,
I've only watched it once, not like the 7 times you have.
What are we doing?
So, yeah, but why was Karen there? You could have gotten somebody else to put the projector on.
Well, no, the thing is, when she put the projector on, I was like, that's fine, but it makes it like she's put it on and then was going to walk away. But then she walks right up, they walk right up to the protest.
Yeah. It's like,
why?
You're meant to be hidden.
You did your job. Your job was you put the projector on.
You need to be safe,
Yeah. Pretty good projector too. Don't know how the audio was effective,
coming out. The vision and that kind of stuff, really got people ramped up and that kind of stuff.
That's the only non-believable part is the
quality.
Somehow they have the audio coming from
somewhere. Good.
Somewhere.
Yeah, that's a fair point. But yeah, it looks like Karen's captured. That's going to be an issue next week. Honestly, kind of surprised Powell didn't just shoot her on the spot. That seems like the move for him. Fucking psycho.
He wants to take it to Fisk.
Yeah, I guess. Make an example of her. Meanwhile, Murdoch offers Fisk peace if they both leave New York. But Fisk refuses, leading to a fight that Murdoch wins, but refuses to kill Fisk. Cool fight sequence.
Very cool fight sequence.
Very sad that the white painting has finally been destroyed.
Yeah. It's just poetic end to it all. And Fisk did it. He's the one that threw him into it.
Yeah. But Matt made him do it.
I did
Even
like
though he made a fair offer, yeah.
I like their conversation beforehand, the build up, but yeah, finally seeing Fisk and Daredevil go hand to hand again was very cool, and just I don't know, I feel like they've got so much better at also doing the Kingpin fight stuff, because he just comes in like a wrecking ball. Like they just do such a good job at presenting him as just so strong,
destructive force. I mean,
but not unbelievable, because like he takes out the bricks, and you're like, that's crazy, pain. But he still feels pain.
Yeah. So Matt needs to use his baton to like actually get some damage in and that kind of stuff, and then move
also
around. That was pretty cool.
Sickest V trigger I've ever seen. I think Kenny Omega that copied that. If Jay Cargill's copying his finisher, he should copy Daredevil's.
One scene that wasn't mentioned here is you've got the scene at like the meeting with the governor or whatever, where they're all like chilling out for some reason. I guess it's the memorial.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about, where this is a spotted dick joke, yeah.
Yeah, but Buck is like working the lieutenant governor. So like, hey, maybe you should step up and fill the role of governor. Like, don't wait.
She says she doesn't want to do it because she doesn't like the idea of campaigning, and she says, what if I said you wouldn't have to?
Yes, the assistant mayor or deputy mayor, this right-hand woman, is then off, like, you know, implying, the governor is implying, you know, what if I get rid of this, you would be mayor, is the implication, which is interesting because if you've watched the latest brand new Day trailer, who's giving the key to the city? She is. She's giving the key to the city to Spider-Man. Something a mayor would do. So potentially, this whole task force thing could be, Fisk could be out of mayor by the end of the season.
That would explain why Spider-Man's not getting captured moment.
Yeah, that movie. It's like, finally, I can swing the streets again after the anti-vigilante task force was removed.
And Punisher's back to his regular duties.
Yeah, he just pops up. Yeah. Anything else you want to discuss about this episode?
The only other scenes that were worth pitching were Matthew Lillard getting super pissed at Fisk, so he's turned against Fisk as well, given zero patience now for him.
I mean, they stole his weapons.
Yeah, but I mean, like, he's like, Fisk has burned that bridge.
Yes.
Share about the weapons. And then also his scene with the governor lady or whatever as well.
Yes, also at
midnight where he turns up.
Yes, that was very good. Like, I'm here to solve your problem.
Yeah, pretty much again implying the problem is Fisk. I also don't like Fisk. Let's work together to get rid of him. Yeah, so I mean that there's a lot of
maybe he brings his superpowered team in to help take him out.
Yeah.
You know, who knows?
Yeah.
All right, let's know what you thought of this latest episode of Daredevil Born Again by finding us on social media by going to explosionnetwork.com/follow. If you want to help us out here at On in Marvelcast, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or on Podchaser. Leave us 5 stars, and you can leave 5 stars or just tell people about the show. And if you want to help us at Explosion Network with all our other podcasts, including What Do You Want to Watch, and all of our written content, head over to explosionnetwork.com/supports. Thank you very much for listening. Be sure to watch next week's episode of Daredevil Born Again and join us next time for another all-new Marvelcast.